Welcome back to Gear for the Common Game. Today, index number 613, we're going to talk about Orah, Skyclave, Hierophant. Now, excuse me, for 4 mana, we get a 3/3 core cleric, because we know the core are from Ravnica. That's their, the origin place of the core peoples. They were transplanted to... Oh crap, I forgot the name of the artificial plane. The Phyrexian uses a staging ground to overlay on top of Dominant. Wrath, yeah, that's it. I went blank for a moment. That was the first time we saw him, was in Stronghold and Wrath, but you know. Anyway, none of that really matters for this deck. So we get a 3/3 lifelink. When Orah or another cleric you control dies, return target cleric with lesser CMC from the yard to the field. Now, obviously, we're playing black-white clerics. We've built this deck so many times before, but it does have kind of a different notion of you have to be having clerics die. So that begs the, you know, sacrifice outlet. So first we will look through our... standard fare of mana fixing. You know, we have a Dark Ritual, Soul Ring, and then the Orzhov, Key Rune, Cluestone, and Signet. I have one lone card draw spell, which I didn't realize till this moment that's a bad thing. Sign in Blood. So, the first clerics I wanted to get was cleric tribal cards, right? But, you know, cards that care about having clerics in play. Stuff like the Vile Deacon, you know. It gets really big depending on how many clerics are in play. The Whipgrass Entangler. This is kind of nice. I love that this is a repeatable. There's a colon and not a tap symbol. So, yeah. Late game, enough mana. You can protect yourself against that Blightsteel Colossus, right? The Cabal Archon, sack a cleric to... and it was sacrifice a cleric, so that also helps in handy. Now, Master Apothecary... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't say that right. You tap an untapped cleric to prevent the next 2 damage that will be dealt to target creature or player, so... If you have enough clerics, you know, Circle of a Life, or Cleric of Life's Blood, you know, it cares about clerics entering the battlefield. Daunting Defender. Cleric damage is reduced by 1, or will damage 2 clerics, rather. Shield Maid's Elder. Tap some clerics, prevent some damage. It's kind of the thing. We don't really care about the wizard part, right? Achroma's Devoted. Clerics have vigilance. Sweet. Of course, this is long form because, you know, the keyword didn't exist back then. Doubtless One. Lifelink and power to physical number of clerics. You can sign me up for that. Battlefield Medic. Apparently, okay. Deck building story here. I had started this deck and then did some before the set came out, and then I shelved it, and then when the set came out I had Orah, and I continued back. Battlefield Medic I wanted in here apparently really bad, because when I come to the deck listing stage on Architect, I realized I had 2 Battlefield Medics, one full, one non-full. So I went to that binder twice. I didn't remember it. So obviously I kept the foil in the deck, and I was listing the deck on Architect, and I needed a card. And I did a thing I'm not entirely proud of. I was kind of in a time crunch. I was about to do something. And my first thought was, God, I got to have a card. It's going to be black or white or cleric here. And I look around and I see literally the top card on one of the stacks over here. I was like, Golgothian Silex. Why not? It'll never matter. This is a placeholder. I realize it's a very expensive placeholder, but it was literally the top card, and I was like, you know what? This is going to be hilarious if this ever matters in game. Anyway, enough with that. Oh, that represents most of the deck's value too. This is a really cheap deck. Profane Prayers. Creature or player, I love it. It's removal. Ancestor's Prophet, gaining 10. By the way, this is way better than it looks. It keeps you alive. Edgewalker. We talked about Edgewalker in the last video, I think. Clerics are the cheap. Now, it only reduces the amount of colored mana you pay, but those like Soul's Attendants and stuff, free. And then, of course, Heirloom Blade. Just because we are playing Tribal, and it does tend to matter. Now, regular clerics. You already saw the other Soul Sisters, so there's the Soul Warden and the Impassioned Orator, and then we have the Suture Priest. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like we don't play them because they're clerics most of the time. We play them because they're decent, and they just happen to be clerics. And I was like, okay, so this is where I'll start. And then we go into stuff, Speaker of the Heavens, Beacon of Destiny. Devoted Caretaker is a nice card. Protection from instants and sorceries is not a common thing. You don't see that a lot. It's amazing art too, right? Cabal Executioner. Entomber Exarch. That's a cleric. Dawning Purist, Field Surgeon, Kitsune Healer, Venerable Monk. I'll admit the Venerable Monk, not exactly the most exciting play, but I did have the 7th edition foil, so that was kind of a influential factor for Canada, because you know how I am. Love shiny things. The Crimson Acolyte. I did actually get to play this deck. Well, I got to shuffle up and start a game. I was severely outclassed, and so it felt like I didn't get to play it, but the Crimson Acolyte did do some work, and I was able to pass out Pro Red, Containment Priest. Undead Slayer. Now, I did not move this to the removal spot because it is so specific. Skeleton, Vampire, Zombie. It made the cut simply because zombie is such a popular creature type. And we play with a lot of cards that are just incidental zombies, So, as like, worst case scenario, it's a cleric. The Foothill Guide. Pro Goblins. That could matter, right? Beloved Chaplain. Protection from creatures. Now, I really like protection from creatures. Just means unblockable. And then we go back to the Fallen Empires to get the Order of Lightbeer and the Order of the Even Hand. I know it's Leaper, but both mirrors of each other. Protection from the other color. You can pay for first strike. You can pay for pumps. Now, I have my random stack of cards here that are kind of not really. I have a Fallen Angel, mainly because it is a free sacrifice outlet. Flying, we are kind of weak on flying, and I have used Fallen Angels in the past as win conditions, if you will. Now, Necromantic Selection. I needed a board wipe. Had this from the precon. I was like, okay. Why not? Now, to victimize, we are sacrificing things, so swapping them in and out. I thought probably a couple of demons. Even if we pay retail for this, which is 9 mana, we're getting a 9/9 flying trample with no drawback. We can sack 3 black creatures, which may be difficult to do in a 2-color deck where a lot of our creatures are white, you know. But if it happens, hey, it happens. And then we have the Zathrid Demon. You know, 6 mana, 7/7 flying trap. It's more or less a Lore of the Pit, if you will. Circle of Despair. Sacrifice a creature, prevent all damage. But then we have some removal. Our removal is, it's black and white, so there's quite a bit of it. Pax Disdain, War Priest of Thune, Cleric and removal, Disenchant, Tempest of Light, Planar Outburst, Ghastly Demise, Demystify, Reckless Spite, Nova Cleric, hey, Cleric and removal, Monk Realist, same thing, Condemn, Celestial Purge, Dark Banishing, Deathmark, and Phyrexian Tribute, because here we're looking to sacrifice creatures, and, we're probably looking to destroy an artifact. Yes, there are better white ways to destroy artifacts, but in this deck, we don't have to sacrifice 2 creatures. We get to sacrifice 2 creatures. It's an advantage instead of a drawback. And then, of course, we have our non-basics. We have the Orzhov Guildgate, Thriving Heath, and more. And more. But wait, there's more. Orzhov Basilica, Scoured Barrens, Forsaken Sanctuary, Temple of Silence. I had to put the Starlit Sanctum in because, it is the cleric land and this gorgeous, gorgeous Bright Climb pathway. And that is it. That is it for Orah. Orah is the buy box promo. And that particular version, anyway. But clerics. Yeah. One more cleric deck down in the books. There have been many, many in the past, and there's probably many more to come. So, deck number 613, done, on the wall. I do appreciate y'all watching. Super excited, can't wait for the Commander Legends set. Oh, man. Yeah, it was made just for us. Just for us. Maybe just for me. But I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, it is time to shuffle and cut.